Yo, this is Teak from Hallway Productionz, and you listen to the homie Chad on Conversations with Chad. All right, West West.
Welcome to Conversations with Chad, where we talk to industry leaders in music, entertainment, sports, and business. Thanks for tuning in. My name is Chad. On today's episode, we're talking with a 3-time Grammy nominated, Dove Award-winning music producer who has worked with several of the industry's elite artists, including Ice Cube, George Clinton, E40, The Game, Dub C, and more. Please welcome Hallway Productionz' Teak Underdue. What's good, homie?
What up, man? I am glad to be here today, man.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So let's kick this off with the latest release from Ice Cube, Trying to Maintain. Talk to me about putting that record together with Cube.
Man, it was kind of crazy. So I always, I'm an hour out the Bay. I'm from Stockton, California, so the Bay has a heavy influence on our area. So I put together this beat just with the Bay in mind, really with the homie Keek in mind, just like something I thought he would vibe to. And I had the beat for a little while. And so I've been sending Cube beats, I mean, obviously for like 16, or going on 16 years now. So this last go round, I think I was keeping in mind that Cube is working on an album with Too Short, 40, and Snoop. So I sent them a variety of beats, and honestly, until I think a couple months ago, he let me know, okay, this is the one I'm messing with. And they sent me the name of the beat. And I was like, that one? Because that one to me has a Bay vibe to it. And so I heard they sent me like a ref just with Cube on it. And so I hear Cube like, yo, this is kind of crazy. And the process went fast. I think after I heard it, we went right to mixing the record, and we mixed it virtually, just because I'm in Stockton and all of them are in LA, and it was just really the most convenient. And we started mixing it with Dave Lopez in the studio, and it just took shape. And I actually got really excited about the record because I don't think his fans have heard him rap over a beat like that before. And so the more I heard it, the more I don't know, the vibe was just really different for me. So I only recently heard that he was putting it out as a single. Like I heard really literally like a day before he actually released it.
Oh, wow.
And so it kind of took me by surprise that it was even a single. But I should have known because Cube and his lawyers which I have a great relationship with, they pushed the paperwork through really fast. So I knew something was going on with the record. I just didn't know it was going on so fast. And so, once it came out, not that I was surprised by the reception, but I think everyone else was surprised. Like when I first heard it, like, yo, this is a different vibe from Cube. And, he has a little fire underneath him, and he touched on a bunch of different areas, but it's also kind of clubby. So, it's a great record. Man. I'm glad we did that record right now.
Yeah, it's a really dope record.
Yeah.
So do you know if with Trying to Maintain, is that simply just a one-off single, or is there an upcoming Ice Cube album that you're working on?
I don't know if I'm at liberty to say, but I can tell you that we've been working on a couple records. We have one that we did from years ago that we just been kind of shaping, and I can tell you the Cube's in the studio. I can tell you that much. He's definitely in there. He's definitely writing, and I know we have another record for sure that's brand new that we're still working on. So
okay,
I'll put it like that.
Okay, cool. That's what's up. So
yeah,
we know that the Mount Westmore project is coming out soon with E40, Ice Cube, Snoop Dogg, and Too Short. And with your working history with Cube, are you going to be a part of that project as well?
I'm pushing it. I know I have a great insight. I was able to hear a lot of what they have, and it's some really classic West Coast stuff on there. So I am. I'm trying. I think what happened is that Cube's in the studio, and so I submitted a bunch of production for that album. But I think Cube, just in light of what's been going on politically, I think it lit a fire in him to kind of get in there, and he has a lot to say right now. So I think that's kind of what pushed Maintain too, because when I sent in the music, I very well let him know like, okay, these are this for the project that you're working on, because it's pretty monumental. But I think he kind of, like I said, I think he has a fire under his ass right now. So um, I'm trying, but either way, I mean, I'm proud of just getting in there, banging out new shit with Cube. So that's where I'm at. So if I'm on there, I'm on there. I mean, if I'm not, I mean, me and Cube are working right now. So
Yeah.
and that's my guy. Yeah.
So, Hallway Productions is made up of you and your brother Dee.
Yes. Yep.
When did you two decide that music production was what you wanted to do?
Oh Lord, what a question. So I've been speaking a lot to like kids who are interested in production, and a lot of people don't know about my past, but I have a bachelor's of science in biochemistry. So I got it from UC Davis.
Wow. Okay.
And so yeah, at the end of Davis, I kind of just reached a peak. Actually, a year after I graduated, I couldn't. I was looking for jobs everywhere, and me and my brother had already started doing production in town in Stockton, and then I think E40 reached out or something like that a couple times, and we knew it was growing. So it was kind of like that thing where my brother looked at each other like, man, let's just go for it, because like some money was coming in. We were literally just in the studio, which was out of my mom's house, just making beats day in day out, and the jobs weren't knocking for me in the science area, or I would have to go to the Bay and commute. So I think me and my brother was just like, man, let's just take this gamble. So we had I had started make I think I made my first beat in like 1996 on some old Elisa's equipment that my mom had. So by the time I was in college, which was about 1998, um, I, me and my brother had just kind of started getting a little bit more serious about it. So by the time 2003 hit, me and my brother were pretty serious about the production. And then by 2005, I started working with Cube. So in the 2 year span, me and my brother got serious, which was like 2002,
Yeah.
or to 2003 to 2005, everything went high gear. So
Wow. Yeah, that's crazy. That's a quick turnaround.
yeah, it's kind of crazy.
So, as you're getting into production, who were some of your influences that you looked up to as far as, maybe patterning your style after, or, things of that nature?
Everybody. We're talking about Prince, Jam Lewis, Quincy Jones. We even talk about Dr. Dre, Battle Cat, Timberland. Definitely Rick Rock out the Bay. I just whatever I heard that I liked, I put that into my music, and so I think that comes across when you look at 1 year I'm putting out a Cube record, then all of a sudden I'm working with Angie Stone,
Right.
or I'm working with like my cousin Denitra, who's an incredible gospel vocalist, or Iana Crawley, who's also a gospel vocalist. So it's kind of using my musical background to kind of jump into all the different genres, and kind of being able to go back and forth with the authenticity that's in each like production style. So yeah, just whatever I hear that sounds good, I kind of take that in as a record producer, because a lot of people just think it's just gangster rap music, but you can hear there's a lot of stuff going on. Like there's bass and there's guitars, and I'm playing those things. So
Right. Right. So, in 2002, you produced your first major label record, Purest Love, with Black Alicious on the Blazing Arrow album.
yes.
Talk to me about the experience of getting your foot in the door of the music business and having your first major label credit with MCA Records.
Yeah. So that was crazy. About the year 2001, my uncle sent me he called me up. He was like, "Hey, my son, he produces records for Black Alicious or whatever." And I'm like, "Oh, really? I've heard of them, but not really." And so he was like, "Yeah, holler at your cousin." So the producer for Black Alicious is my cousin. Chief Excel is my cousin. So he heard through his dad that I had played a bunch of instruments. So at the end of the Blazing Arrow album, they had one song, "Purest Love," that they couldn't quite clear the sample for it. So I think my cousin was like, "Man, I got these cousins that are." And by the way, this is like my third year at Davis, I believe. And so he said, "I got these cousins that play these instruments. Let me just give them a shot." So we laid down a couple tracks in his studio in SAC, and then I think he wanted to do more. So then he took us to, I forget which studio it was, maybe Toast, which was I think Third Eye Blind Studio in San Francisco. One of them, he was just like, he brought me into this major studio for the first time, and I'm a poor, starving college student, and that's my first experience, in a major studio. And so he had me lay down some bass in there, and then some live piano, which was in a huge live room. And then my brother was there. He had my brother play trumpets on the end of the track. So that's my brother Dee playing trumpet. And then he had me lay some guitar down. And once he mixed it, the track came out, I was just, blown away. Like, I'm on a major release. And so that was one part of pushing me into the realm of production versus science. It's just when I was in that studio, it felt natural. It was like, I think this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And that was just an incredible feeling. Like, I'm in school and in college, and I have my first debut on a major label. So that's pretty much how that went down. It was an incredible experience, pretty much.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I can imagine so. Now, you've worked extensively with Ice Cube since 2005. Anybody
Mm-hmm.
seen the Popos off the
Mm-hmm.
Triple X State of the Union soundtrack? How did
Yep.
you guys initially connect with Cube and Lench Mob Records?
No, I mean, I got stories for days, Chad. So with that one, a part of what I said before, me and my brother in the studio grinding. I'm also reaching out to my homie Dave, Dave Lopez, and he's mixing out he was mixing out in the Bay, and then he moved to LA and made a good name for himself. And he's working out in Paramount Studios out in the recording studio. And I'm sending him beat CDs, and he's like, "These are cool, they all right." Like I'm pretty sure he used one of them as a coaster or something. But eventually, he probably did. I don't know. Now, eventually, he heard some beats, and he was like, "You know what? I'm gonna give these Dub C, and I'm gonna see if he likes them." And then he gave some beat CDs to Crazy Toones. So Dub and Crazy Toones, they heard the potential, and now they just kept saying, "Send us more." So with us, we're just like, this is, I mean, we're almost there. So me and my brother were just in the lab, we're just cranking out beats, and we're sending them stuff we think is crazy. And mind you, I'm not super privy to like gangster rap at the time. Like I'm learning as I'm going.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of more of an R&B, like Timberland like producer in a sense,
Okay.
Rick Rock influence.
Okay.
And so we're just grinding it out, and we just made this one beat. Wasn't too crazy, but it just had that vibe. And I think Crazy Toones was like, okay, like this beat is dope right here. This is kind of what I'm talking about. So then me and my brother just stayed on the range of that beat, and we sent more like that. And then we kept combining, like, I think we even used like jazz samples with gangster rap, and it just caught Dub C's ear. And so Dub C started recording like crazy. And it was kind of like, whoa, me and Did like, okay, this is crazy. Like, we got Dub, which is, one of our favorite artists at the time. He was,
Yeah. Dub's dope.
the heart and soul. Yeah, like, like you said, like Crip Walker wasn't cool until Dub did it on the screen.
Exactly.
Yeah, and so, Dub's recording, and then I think it only made sense to Dave and Crazy Toones to kind of pass it along to Q, because look, he has these young producers. They're hungry. They're not gonna stop. The only thing Q could say is that it was garbage. And so the story they told me is that Q was going on vacation. I think he had just finished filming something. I believe it's probably already there yet or something. And they gave him one CD, and on that CD was, I think, Anybody Seen the Popos, and the first song that he recorded to. So the first CD he got, he started writing to.
Damn.
And I mean, yeah, exactly. So he has not stopped writing, and it's been 16 years.
That's crazy.
So it was kind of one of those things like, wow, like that really just happened.
Yeah.
But it was up to me and my brother to keep the beats at like the highest level for somebody like Cube and for some unknown producers like us at the time. So I mean, even to this day, like we just stay in the lab and we just try to top what we did before. So that's how it happened with Cube.
I love the child support track off the Laugh Now Cry Later album.
Yeah.
It hits so hard, man. When you and Dee are in the studio, how does a track come together, and what elements do each of you kind of bring to the table?
So D's always had like the streets on lock. Like, he's just, when it came to me even starting production, D was already on it. He already had all the street artists like lined up. Because D brings the rawness when it comes to the record. And then I bring more of the musical elements when it comes to the record. And then we both have drums, but sometimes the way D does his drums are just they just hit hard. So I think that when we when it comes to us putting together records, we keep that in mind that it has to hit hard, it has to be musical, and then D is also the the mastering mix engineer. So there's also going to be some clarity to it too. So that's kind of our approach when we put together records that it has to hit hard, it has to be musical, and then it has to be mixed like well.
Okay. All right. Now, we were talking about Dub C a little bit earlier, and
Uh-huh.
the Guilty by Affiliation album had West Coast Voodoo.
Mhm.
And that's another one of your all's tracks that I really like, especially the
Yeah.
way you all kind of incorporated the X Clan Brother J sample in there.
Yeah, that was all tunes. That
Oh,
was all tunes.
okay. Well, tell me about putting
Yeah.
that record together with Dub C, Game, and Cube and Crazy Tunes.
Yeah, that was, oh man, that was, I think it was like wintertime or something, or fall, I don't know. But I just wanted something that had a swing to it, and I think I was inspired by the Scott Storch record at the time, and I wanted it to swing the same way. I wanted the pianos to go like just a different way with some different chords, and so we put that track together with, oh man, I think on that batch of beats I sent, like I think on that batch was also 80s Baby. It was just they went crazy over the music we sent at that time. And so once again, that was a fast process. So me and D, we make all of our music in Stockton, and so we sent it to him, and that was an instance where I think Cube and Doug they were just banging out records at Lench Mob, and they got that one done. They sent it back to us to listen to, and so I think with the game, we barely missed the game. Because it was like the holiday season, so we weren't really like gonna travel. So it's an issue where we sent them the stuff, they recorded it, knocked it out, and then we just all mixed it together. And that was it. It was a quick process.
Of the records you have produced, do you have a favorite one that stands out?
Yeah, I get that. So it's so many, but I love '80s Baby by Dub and Q.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that one gave me because I was always searching for that Dre vibe. That one gave me Dre's sound when he was doing that sound at the time with like two iconic gangster rap like icons. So
Yeah.
that's one of them. My other favorites are Angie Stone's Two Bad Habits. With that one, I was finally able to switch gears like 100% into soul and R&B, and so people were able to hear like the production I could do that wasn't gangster rap. And with that one, I mean it's like an old school like mellow vibe, and like I'm playing every instrument in the record. Like I'm playing guitar, I'm playing bass, the strings, the background.
Oh wow.
Um, yeah, and so it was just able to like it was really one of those records where if you paid attention, knew that was me, you would be like, holy shit! Like they are more than just making hard ass records.
Yeah.
And then our stuff with Mindless Behavior, I want that because it was kind of a record for the kids, and it was showing that we were still like current. Like I have to use all these records because it gave a different sound for our production. And then maybe One Great Love by Dave Hollister. That's a good one. So those are kind of all the records that show our like dynamic range of production, and I like all those records for what they do, and they're all different. So all of those are kind of my favorite records.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Because actually, my next question was if someone asked you to make them a list of the top 5 songs that would describe Hallway Productions, what songs would you put together?
Boom, answered
Yeah.
it.
Like, man,
Yeah, so yeah,
just did it.
those are them. It's just they encapsulate like everything that we're capable of as a production. So yeah, yeah. And if you listen to them back to back, I don't think there's any way you would like guess we did all those records.
Right. Okay. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna check it out. With the songs that you've got that feature, Ice Cube and Dub C, The Game, Angie Stone, Dave Hollister, E40, and all these great people, what's next for you in Hallway Productions? What's next for you and D?
I think more of the same. Right. What's been happening lately is we've been doing, I think for the past 4 years, we've been kind of knocking out albums. Like with Angie Stone, it was an opportunity to produce a majority of her album. And then with Dave Hollister, the same, it was more than half of his album. So I think more of that, if not producing whole albums, is what's next for us. And the thing is, the whole time is our client list is still kind of growing. Too, there's artists that we haven't worked with that've kind of been reaching out here and there. Um, but yeah, I think that's it. Like still doing more production on albums and just expanding our client list still because we've never lost a client. Like, and that's kind of how you have to do things. You have to do good business, and your clients gotta like you. And
Right.
that's why our client range it stays. Like if you see Black Alicious and Dub C, like from 2005 or three or whatever, you'll continue to see those through 2022. So
Okay.
I think that's what's next. Albums, still producing albums.
That's what's up. So, have you guys ever thought about doing a like a compilation where it's kind of like the Chronic, with Dr. Dre, or kind of like like Ant Banks and his Big Things record where he handled all the production and let all the spitters spit. You know what I mean? Have you
Yeah.
guys ever thought about doing something like that?
We kind of already have. We just did it under the Chicken Hill moniker. So with the Chicken Hill albums, the guy Chicken Hill is a Native American from the Miwok tribe, and he decided that he wanted to get into music, and so he put together 2 compilations, and all of them featured everybody from basically all of his favorite artists, whether it was 40 and Dub C and Mr. Fab. Uh, what's the homie from SAC? Oh man, I'm drawing a blank. But he put together all of his favorite artists on a compilation, and we did it twice. And like we even expanded it to like Mozzie this time, and Brother Lench Brother Lench.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and Sibo. Like we put together. So we've done it kind of twice, and then my brother raps too, so he's kind of done the same thing on his albums where. Not that they're compilations, but his album, he reaches out to all of his favorite artists and he gets them on there. So we've kind of done it already. We kind of haven't done it under the Hallway moniker yet, but it might be something that's in the works. You never know. Thanks for the idea, Chad.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. Glad I could help.
For sure.
So, my last question is this, because I know on a couple of Cube albums, there were some songs that ultimately became unreleased. Ye Without Sin and Look Where You At.
Yes.
Do you know what happened to those records, and will we ever hear those records?
So Look Where You At, probably not. I'm not sure. That was one of the first ones that we recorded. There's another one that was released called Dick Tease. That was actually the very first record that Cube wrote to in 2005. So it was released, but it wasn't like put out there like that. But Look Where You At was a part of those beats on that first beat CD that I sent Cube, or at least the second beat CD. But that was around the first batch of stuff that he recorded. And I think at the time, it just didn't fit the album and the vibe of the album. Right? And we even stayed in the studio with Cube working on that in LA, trying to get it right, just to get it kind of where he heard it going. And it kind of made it there, but then it was just lacking something. So that one, I don't think you'll hear it. You might, but that one was fully like recorded. We added the stuff when we fully mixed it down in the studio. So that one's actually done. Ye Without Santa is one of the ones that we're working on now. That one you might hear. You might hear that soon.
Okay, cool.
We're still working on it. There's pieces of it that Q's just not comfortable with the mix, and we're actively working on that one. So that one you might hear that one soon.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because I talked to Q back in I think it was 2019. He was out here for a festival that he was performing at, and I asked him about if he would ever do another bootleg and B-sides record, with the remixes and unreleased songs and stuff. So maybe we'll hear a couple of those on that.
Ye What I Said might be on an album.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it might be on an album. If we can get the mix right, it might be on an album.
Okay. Yeah, because I like the title, so I'm interested to hear kind of what it sounds like in the in the subject matter that I know Ice Cube can come with.
Yeah, he's talking shit. That's
Yeah.
He's talking shit. That's all I can say.
That's what's up. Yeah, that's what we like to hear. That's the Cube I like.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Yeah, man. Well, Teak, man, I appreciate the time. Thank you for taking the time to talk to me and being on Conversations with Chad. We will definitely keep our ears open and can't wait to hear the next Hallway production stuff.
Thank you, sir. Man, it's a privilege and an honor. Whenever you need me, hit me up. I'll gladly do it again. I had a ball.
Awesome. Thanks, Teak. I appreciate you.
For sure.
And that concludes this episode of the Conversations with Chad podcast. Be sure to check us out at chadkiser.com. We'll be back soon. Thanks for listening.